For today's industry insight, I want to talk a little bit about my thoughts on the recent title announcement for the PlayStation Classic, which is, of course, Sony's answer to the NES and SNES Classic. And this trend of, miniaturizing and selling game nostalgia has definitely grown. And it's presenting a very troubled situation when it comes to talking about game preservation as a whole. So, with this trend, we see that the console makers are essentially trying to put together a quote-unquote greatest hits of whatever made that platform famous. With the NES Classic, we of course got Zelda and Mario. With SNES, we got Earthbound. And even with the PlayStation Classic, we got games like Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, and so on. But the problem is that looking at this from a game preservation standpoint, this really doesn't do all that much for allowing people to experience classic games. With the classics themselves, it's essentially a way for the developer to just kind of go through their library as to what they have access to right now, and then putting it available, and of course selling it at a higher premium. When you buy the NES and the SNES Classic, you're not just getting the console, you're not getting those games, you're getting this cute little thing that you can put down on your desk or display table. But the problem is that this is not really helping game preservation. Because as we've said before, when the game preservation is being controlled by the console or content holder, it makes it that much harder when you want to go beyond that. With these systems, you only get so few games on there, and there are plenty more out there. Another issue is that I'm not sure just what these games are being represented, or as in, why did they pick these games versus something else? Again, when we look at Nintendo, they have their bread and butter franchises. I would have been shocked if we didn't get a Mario or a Zelda game. But why is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six on the PlayStation Classic as opposed to something like Tomba, Castlevania, or heck, even Crash Bandicoot? Now, I know some of you probably will answer this below, saying that Crash Bandicoot is because the copyright is of course owned by Activision, they're doing the Insane Trilogy. But that is the issue here, is that these systems are not doing much for game preservation. There's no way to download more games to them, at least quote-unquote legally, and you're still being limited by the device itself. Now that takes me to the game footage that you're seeing right now. This is from Sonic Adventure DX, and this is me playing the emulated version of this that was released on PC. Obviously, this is a Dreamcast game. And the strange thing is that Sega, out of the major console holders, or I guess former console holders, has been one of the few to have embraced the PC, as well as other consoles, for allowing people to play these games. I know on PlayStation 4 on the PSN, you can get games like Crazy Taxi, Space Channel 5, and the same goes for on the PC. And that, to me, is more important than simply throwing out these little miniaturized consoles. Because at the end of the day, while they are certainly great for a holiday gift, we can't expect to get like 15 or 20 different NES and SNES classics if we want to experience the full library. And that's the key point about game preservation. It's not just about seeing what somebody thinks is the best games to represent a console, but it's about being able to experience that whole thing. This is why, again, I'm a big fan of GOG, and I want to see more of that go when it comes to the console side of things. Now, I'm willing to bet at this point that there's probably an Xbox Mini or Xbox Classic in the work. I guess that thing, to be representative of the old Xbox, will probably be like a 20-pound brick that you can throw at things. But again, it remains to be seen just what somebody else deems is important to preserve, or if it's just being used as a way to get more money and again mine that nostalgia trip. But with that said, we're going to wrap up this quick industry insight for today. What do you think about the PlayStation Classic from both a manufacturer or selling standpoint, and even just from a preservation one? Like I said, I would have loved to have seen more developers or more console makers just go for their own virtual console, which, as we've talked about before, the Switch does not have that anymore. And I think, as we've said before, in order for game preservation to work, we have to be a lot more proactive about it. There should have been steps already in place to get these vast catalogs digitized, or at least set somebody up as a third party to start doing it. Because every day that we don't, it's going to get harder and harder to experience these games. As one final point from the PlayStation Classic, I'm really surprised that Medieval is not on the list, whether it's the US or the Japanese version of it, considering that was another big name game, or one of the first big original properties for the PlayStation. And like I said, that is kind of the issue. What someone finds memorable or important is not the same as what somebody from another person. And when we're kind of fighting these various forces to try and get game preservation going, it's only going to be a net loss for everyone involved. But with that said, thanks for watching today's Industry Insight. Be sure to check back for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. And if you'd like to support us directly, please check out our Patreon, patreon.com/UWBicer. But until next time, have a good day. And now a quick shout out to the supporters over on patreon.com/UWBicer. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoy things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel linked down below, where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.